My beloved child, breathe and stay right here, because this moment was not chosen by chance. There was a time when your silence was misunderstood, when your patience was mocked, when people laughed because they could not see what was quietly forming inside you. They judged the pause, not knowing it was preparation. They mistook the waiting season for weakness. But listen closely now, because something huge is unfolding, and you must not skip this. You remember the looks, the whispers, the way they smiled when you shared a dream, as if it were too big for someone like you. They laughed when you chose faith over noise, discipline over shortcuts, silence over arguing. They thought your calm meant defeat. They thought your humility meant you would always stay where you were. Stay till the end, because what they never understood is that heaven does its deepest work in hidden places. While they were watching the surface, God was shaping the foundation. While they were counting your losses, God was counting your endurance. Every delay had a purpose. Every closed door was protection. Every tear you wiped away alone was recorded. Something huge is waiting for you in this story, and it connects directly to why those same people will soon be forced to watch what they once laughed at. There is a law they do not talk about. When God prepares a rise, He allows misunderstanding first. When God plans elevation, He allows isolation. That season when no one clapped for you, when no one believed in you, when even you questioned yourself at night, that was not abandonment. That was separation. Do not skip this, because this is where everything begins to make sense. They laughed because they saw your current position, not your calling. They laughed because they heard your voice, not the authority that was being formed behind it. They laughed because they measured you by today, while God had already written tomorrow. And now, quietly, without announcement, the shift has started. You may feel it already. A restlessness, a sense that something is aligning, a pull toward a version of yourself you have never lived before. What they do not know is that God never lifts someone publicly without first building them privately. Every moment you felt unseen, you were being trained. Every time you were overlooked, your character was being strengthened. Every time you were underestimated, your resilience grew stronger. Stay till the end, because the rise that is coming is not small, and it will not be hidden. There is a reason the laughter stopped bothering you. There is a reason you no longer feel the need to explain yourself. There is a reason your spirit feels heavier with purpose, but lighter with fear. That is because you are stepping out of the season of proving and into the season of revealing. Something huge is waiting for you right after this turning point. Soon, the same eyes that look down on you will look up in confusion. Not because you chased them, not because you argued, not because you demanded recognition, but because God Himself will create the contrast. Your growth will speak. Your peace will speak. Your results will speak. And they will have no choice but to watch. Do not skip, because this next part matters deeply. There is a moment approaching where your consistency will collide with divine timing. You will be in the right place, with the right preparation, at the exact right moment. What felt slow will suddenly feel fast. What felt stuck will suddenly move. What felt impossible will suddenly open. This is not about revenge. This is about vindication. This is not about proving them wrong. This is about God proving His process right. You were never behind. You were being positioned. And when the rise becomes visible, it will be undeniable. Stay till the end of this journey, because what is coming next explains why everything had to happen the way it did. The laughter was temporary. The rise is permanent. Something huge is waiting for you, and this is only the beginning. Because the beginning never looks like the breakthrough, and the shift never announces itself with noise. It arrives quietly, almost unnoticed, the way dawn enters a dark room before anyone realizes the night has ended. That is where you are standing now, in that fragile space between what was and what is about to be revealed. You may feel as if nothing around you has changed yet, but inside, something has already moved. Your reactions are different. Your patience is deeper. Your faith is steadier. That is not accidental. That is evidence. God never changes the scenery before he changes the soul. And the version of you listening right now is not the same one they laughed at back then. There is a weight that comes with becoming. A sacred pressure that feels like stretching, like uncertainty, like standing at the edge of something you cannot fully name. That is why you have been feeling both calm and unsettled at the same time. Calm because you trust. Unsettled because growth does not let you remain comfortable. Stay with me, because this tension is not a sign to retreat. It is proof that you are expanding. What they never saw was the quiet discipline. The days you showed up when no one was watching. The nights you chose restraint when you could have chosen reaction. The moments you kept going with no applause, no validation, no guarantee. Heaven saw all of it. And heaven does not forget consistency. There is a principle that operates beyond human timing. When preparation reaches its fullness, movement becomes unavoidable. That is why doors are starting to loosen. Conversations are shifting. Opportunities are hovering closer than they ever have before. You may not be able to explain it yet, but you can sense it. The atmosphere around your life is changing. Do not rush this moment. Rushing would cause you to miss the precision of what is unfolding. God is not lifting you to impress people. He is lifting you to position you. And when positioning happens, it often feels slow right before it accelerates. The laughter you endured served a purpose. It filtered your circle. It refined your motives. It taught you to rely on something deeper than approval. If they had supported you too early, you might have leaned on them instead of on God. If they had believed too soon, you might have confused encouragement with calling. What felt like rejection was actually protection. There will come a point when they ask how it happened so suddenly. They will say it was luck, timing, coincidence. They will not see the years of alignment behind the moment of visibility. They will not know the prayers whispered when no one was listening. They will not understand the strength it took to keep going without evidence. And you do not need them to understand. You were never meant to explain your rise. You were meant to walk in it with humility and clarity. That is why your heart feels guarded now. That is why you choose your words carefully. That is why you are learning to move in silence again. Silence is returning, but this time it is not empty. It is full of intention. Don't skip this, because there is a reason your discernment is sharpening. You are being prepared not just for increase, but for responsibility. Elevation brings attention, and attention tests character. God is strengthening your inner foundation so that what is coming does not overwhelm you. You are closer than you think, closer than you feel. The gap between promise and manifestation is narrowing. The space between vision and reality is tightening. That is why resistance has increased lately. That is why distractions have tried to pull you off course. Opposition often intensifies when the breakthrough is near. Keep listening, because the next phase will require a different kind of courage. Not the courage to survive, but the courage to receive. Not the courage to endure, but the courage to step forward when the moment opens. Many people can handle waiting. Few are ready for arrival. And right now, without spectacle, without announcement, you are being readied for that moment. The rise is not yet complete. The unveiling is not yet finished. There is still more forming beneath the surface, more aligning behind the scenes, more being arranged in ways you cannot yet see. And what comes next will change how you understand everything that came before. Because what you are stepping into cannot be rushed, and it cannot be forced into shape before its time. Some doors only open when you arrive with the right posture, the right restraint, the right inner alignment. That is why you have been slowed down in ways you did not expect. It was not delay. It was calibration. You may have noticed that certain desires you once had no longer pull at you the same way. Certain conversations no longer satisfy you. Certain environments feel too loud, too shallow, too rushed. That is not loss. That is refinement. You are being tuned for a frequency that cannot be sustained by distraction. There is a reason your spirit has been nudging you to pay attention to small details lately. To timing, to tone, to what is said and what is left unsaid. You are being trained to recognize moments before they announce themselves. That awareness will matter soon, more than you realize right now. What is coming will require discernment, not excitement. Clarity, not noise. The rise you are approaching will not be loud at first. It will begin subtly, almost quietly, as if only you and God are aware that something has shifted. And that is intentional. Some transitions are too sacred to be exposed too early. You have already outgrown certain rooms, even if you are still standing in them. You have already surpassed certain expectations, even if no one has acknowledged it yet. Growth often feels lonely right before it becomes visible. That loneliness is not punishment. It is preparation for leadership. Stay with me, because this next stretch is where many people lose confidence unnecessarily. When things are close but not yet clear, doubt tries to speak louder. Old voices try to resurface. Old memories try to remind you of who you used to be. But those memories are outdated. They describe a version of you that no longer exists. You are not returning to the past. You are not circling back. You are moving forward, even when it feels still. Forward motion does not always feel like speed. Sometimes it feels like depth. And depth is what allows you to carry what is coming without breaking. There will be moments ahead when you are tempted to explain yourself again, to justify your choices, to seek reassurance. Resist that urge. Explanation drains energy meant for execution. The season you are entering values action over explanation, alignment over approval. The people who laughed were never meant to walk with you into what is next. They were witnesses to a chapter, not companions for the journey. That separation is not bitterness. It is clarity. Every assignment comes with its own audience, and the audience changes when the assignment changes. Do not be surprised if your circle continues to shift. Not abruptly, not dramatically, but naturally. Some connections will fade without conflict. Others will surface without effort. That is not coincidence. That is alignment responding to purpose. You may feel an increasing sense of responsibility toward your words, your choices, your reactions. That is because influence is forming around you, whether you see it yet or not. Influence always begins internally before it becomes external. Integrity is being strengthened so that when attention comes, it does not alter you. Don't skip this, because the timing of your obedience will matter as much as the obedience itself. There will be moments when you are prompted to move, to speak, to wait, to release. Those moments will not come with loud signs. They will come with quiet certainty. Trust that certainty. What you have been learning in private will soon be required in public. Not all at once. Not in a way that overwhelms you. But gradually, deliberately, step by step. Each step will confirm that you were prepared more deeply than you realized. There is still more unfolding beneath the surface. More connections being arranged. More understanding being formed within you. The picture is not complete yet, and it does not need to be. You are only required to remain attentive, steady, and willing. The rise is still in motion. The revealing is still ahead. And as this continues to unfold, you will begin to notice signs that confirm you are exactly where you are meant to be, even if the destination is not fully visible yet. The next moment will make this even clearer. Because clarity rarely arrives all at once, it reveals itself in layers, and you are being invited to recognize the layer you are standing in now. There is a quiet confidence beginning to replace the old urgency, and that shift is important. Urgency chases outcomes. Confidence waits for alignment. You are learning the difference. You may notice that you are no longer desperate for signs. You are attentive instead. You are listening more than asking. That is growth. When trust matures, it no longer needs constant reassurance. It recognizes direction even when the path is not fully visible. There are conversations ahead that will feel strangely familiar, as if you have rehearsed them without knowing it. Moments where your response surprises even you, because wisdom rises before anxiety has a chance to speak. This is not accidental. What you practiced in quiet moments is preparing to surface naturally. Stay with me, because this is where many misunderstand the nature of favor. Favor is not exemption from effort. It is precision in timing. You will not be spared responsibility, but you will be guided in how to carry it. You will not avoid pressure, but you will discover strength you did not know you had. You are being taught how to move without announcing every step, how to protect what is forming before it is strong enough to stand on its own. Not everything growing inside you needs to be shared yet. Some things are still sacred, still settling, still aligning. There is a rhythm to what is coming, and you are learning to hear it. A pace that is neither rushed nor stagnant. A movement that feels intentional rather than forced. That rhythm will guide your decisions when logic alone cannot. You may sense that certain doors are no longer tempting you the way they once did. That is discernment maturing. Attraction is being replaced by purpose. What once glittered now feels empty. What once felt distant now feels possible. This internal shift is a signal that your values are aligning with your assignment. Don't skip this, because the way you respond to subtle changes will determine how you handle visible ones. Small decisions are training grounds for larger ones. Quiet obedience prepares you for public trust. What feels insignificant now is laying groundwork you will rely on later. There will be moments when you feel pulled to pause, even when momentum seems to invite speed. Honor those pauses. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the refinement of direction. Some of the most important adjustments happen when you slow down enough to notice them. You are not behind schedule. You are not missing your moment. Timing is unfolding with intention, even when it feels ambiguous. What you are becoming cannot be rushed into visibility without cost. Depth always requires time. As this continues, you may find that your prayers change tone. Less asking for rescue, more asking for wisdom, less fear of loss, more clarity of purpose. This evolution is preparing you for stewardship, not just success. There is still more aligning around you, beyond what you can currently perceive. Pieces are moving quietly. Paths are converging without your effort. You are not required to control this process, only to remain responsive to it. And as you remain attentive, steady, and grounded, you will begin to sense when the moment shifts again. Not loudly, not suddenly, but unmistakably. When it does, you will understand why every step before it mattered, even the ones that felt uncertain, even the ones that felt slow, even the ones that felt unseen, even the ones that taught you patience when you wanted proof. That patience has been reshaping how you listen, how you wait, how you choose your next step. You are not reacting anymore. You are responding. And that distinction will protect you when momentum increases. There is an inner stillness forming that does not depend on circumstances. You may have noticed it in moments where old triggers no longer pull you off balance. What once demanded a response now passes through without disturbance. That steadiness is not indifference. It is mastery. It means you are no longer driven by the noise around you, but guided by something deeper within. As this steadiness settles, your perception sharpens. You begin to sense when something is not aligned before it becomes obvious. You notice subtle shifts in tone, intention, and timing. This awareness is not meant to make you cautious. It is meant to make you precise. Precision will matter in what is approaching. Stay with me, because the next stretch will test discernment more than endurance. Endurance carried you through waiting. Discernment will guide you through movement. Knowing when to step forward and when to hold back will define the next chapter, even before the chapter is named. You may feel moments of anticipation without knowing exactly what you are anticipating. A readiness that does not yet have a form. That feeling is not confusion. It is recognition. Your inner compass is responding to something that has already been set in motion. There will be opportunities that look similar to old ones, but feel different inside you. They will no longer stir anxiety or desperation. Instead, they will invite calm consideration. That change in response is intentional. It signals that you are learning to evaluate with wisdom rather than urgency. Don't skip this, because subtle invitations often carry greater impact than dramatic ones. The most meaningful openings rarely arrive with pressure. They arrive with peace. They allow space for choice rather than forcing action. When you encounter that peace, pay attention. You are also learning the value of restraint. Not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every idea needs immediate execution. Timing refines value. What you hold back now may gain strength and clarity before it is revealed. Silence, when chosen wisely, becomes a form of stewardship. There may be moments ahead when others misinterpret your quiet confidence as distance. Let them. Your focus is narrowing, and that narrowing is purposeful. When vision sharpens, distractions naturally fall away. You are not withdrawing. You are concentrating. You might sense a gentle separation from patterns that once defined your routine. Habits are shifting. Priorities are rearranging themselves without force. This internal reordering is preparing space for what cannot fit into an old structure. As you continue, remember that progress is not always measured by visible change. Sometimes it is measured by what no longer troubles you, what no longer tempts you, what no longer controls your reactions. Those quiet victories are building resilience you will rely on soon. You are approaching a threshold that does not announce itself. It reveals itself through readiness rather than recognition. When it appears, it will feel familiar, as if you have been expecting it without knowing why. That familiarity is the result of preparation you have already lived through. There is more clarity ahead, but it will come in sequence, not all at once. Each step will illuminate the next, and you will be given just enough light to move forward without becoming overwhelmed. Trust that process.